Hi everyone, Aiden here with etrailer. Today we're going to be taking a look at and showing you how to install this Curt S20 slider base for your fifth wheel hitches. This is going to have a 20,000 pound capacity and be designed to work with a variety of different fifth wheels from Curt, including their A16, the E16, and the A20 fifth wheels. You can get this in kits if you want to, but if you already have one of those fifth wheels, maybe we've changed over to a truck with a shorter bed, and now we need a sliding base, we can get just this sliding base and use it with one of those existing fifth wheels if we already have them. Let's check it out. Now, this is going to be a more manual slider, so you operate it from outside the truck bed whenever you need to get additional turning clearance. You get 12 inches of travel back and forth, so to get it to slide back, remove this pin and retaining clip, pull the handle towards you, and then at this point you'd get in your truck and drive forward. This will auto latch back into position. Now from outside, just doing it by hand, it's a little clunky, but you'd be driving at that point. It'll automatically latch in place, giving you 12 additional inches of clearance, giving your cab better clearance for turns. And then whenever you're done and you want to return it to that original state, just pull that again, back up your truck, and it'll automatically latch in for the main driving position again. So you only have to get out of your truck once to get it to latch in that driving position. And just make sure to not forget your pin and retaining clip. Now, like I mentioned before, this can handle 20,000 pounds of gross towing weight. Now, with that capacity, there is a bit of a caveat that's for the sliding base. Depending on the fifth wheel head you're using this with, let's say you're using the A16 from Curt, that one doesn't have as high a capacity. In that case, you want to go by the lowest rated component, and also be sure to check your truck and see what it can handle. Throughout the whole system, we should be abiding by the lowest rated component to make sure we're hauling safely. Throughout the sliding base, we're going to have a solid steel construction with a carbide black powder coat finish to help resist rust and corrosion over time. The sliding rails here are going to be a bit of a bare material, but it does have a coating on there, and I would recommend regularly applying grease to keep this operating smoothly. And then just making sure we check it to make sure that nothing is building up and collecting in that grease and causing things to bind up and not move as smoothly. Now, looking at the base here, you can see it mounts to our industry standard rails, just popping into those slots and then pinning and clipping into place just to keep it all secured. There are rubber isolators in there to reduce our metal on metal contact, keeping things relatively vibration free, just helping to dampen it a little bit, and again, reducing that metal on metal contact to help with durability. And speaking of that installation process, it's very straightforward. I'd recommend grabbing a friend just to help you lift it and drop it into place because it can get quite a bit heavy on this side with the sliding part, but overall it's very easy. You've got dedicated handholds, and again, out of the box, there's no setup required. It's really just drop it into place and pin it in. Let's see how we did that. We're just gonna drop those in place right now on our ISR rails. And with these, we've got the two holes on the side and the slotted hole in the middle. That's where we're gonna line all four of those up with, and then we can drop it in place. One thing to note is that you will need an extra set of hands because it is quite heavy, especially on the side with the slider, but it comes ready to drop in right out of the box and with plenty of convenient hand holds. So we'll just drop that in. With the base in place, we can get our pins and our clips, slide those through the tabs in all four corners, and then attach our fifth wheel. Now, depending on if you've got one of the kits that came with a fifth wheel head, or you have a fifth wheel head already that you're now just adding a slider base to, you'd install that at this point. This part is just for the slider base, so we're not going to be installing any fifth wheels right now, but depending on the one you have, it really just bolts through the sides right here through one of the pairs of holes on either side. And that's really all there is to it. Overall, the S20 slider I think is a really solid option. If you've already got one of those fifth wheel heads from Curt and you're looking for the sliding base maybe for a new truck, or you found that with your truck you just need the additional clearance, then this is going to be a great option because we can just add this base to our existing fifth wheel. If we've got a different fifth wheel from Curt, maybe the A25, I would recommend getting the S25 sliding base. That one's going to be a little bit more heavy duty, able to handle the additional weight capacity of the A25 head, so there is going to be a right fit depending on the fifth wheel you have. If you're looking to build a kit from scratch though, maybe another option to consider would be one from B&W. They make a very similar manual slider to this and offer different kits with fifth wheel heads. So if you're looking to compare the two, one thing I would say about the Curt is that I like the handle design a lot better, because from the outside of the truck bed, we're pulling that handle towards us. A lot easier to do than maybe pulling the handle front to back. When you're reaching over the sidewall of the truck, it's just easier to bring it closer to you than it is to run it front to back. So for me, the Curt wins in that ease of use category. But B&W does make a good product, and if you're already a B&W user, then get the sliding base that's appropriate for you. It really just comes down to if you already have something, and if you don't have anything yet and you're building from scratch, what's going to work best for you and your truck. But that'll do it for our look at the S20 sliding base from Curt. Thanks for watching.